Welcome to Terrific Taste. On the menu today, Pico de Gallo with homemade chips. For our recipe, we'll need 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 bunch of cilantro, 1 red onion, tortilla chips, oil, lime, salt, and pepper. We're going to start off by placing our tortillas on the cutting board, cutting them in half, then half again, and then into fourths. Next, we're going to place them in a bowl, mixing bowl, hit them with a generous splash of oil, and then line them on a sheet tray. What you see me now is lining up put my parchment paper down and making sure I kind of meticulously lay these down. I don't want them to lay on top of each other. I want them to get as crispy as they can in the oven. Again, we're not deep frying them, we're baking them. So it's imperative that they lay as separated from each other as they can. You can choose to salt them now or salt them when they come out. I tend to salt mine after the fact. The real reason for it is just because it's a lot easier to salt them after than before for me. As I'm going to cut my onions for my Pico de Gallo, I try to go in logical order. So I want to go with whatever makes less of a mess on my cutting board. So I'm going to go onions first, then I'm going to go my Roma tomatoes, and I'm going to go my cilantro, then I'll do my lime juice, and then add my salt and pepper. But I kind of want to leave the cutting board as mess-free as possible so you don't endanger yourself by making it slippery and possibly cutting yourself. We'll have to clean it before you have to take the next step. So I try to follow a logical order in this case. Might be just as logical to cut the cilantro, more logical to cut the cilantro next, but in this, it doesn't really matter how you do it. You're just going to do it whatever makes you feel comfortable. But again, I just like to take logic into effect when I'm using my cutting board and deciding which order to place things in. So here you go. As you can see, I'm doing the cilantro now. I'm just going to cut this up, real rough chop on this one. I don't need the fine dice or anything. I just want it to be, as thin as I'd like it to be, as fine as I'd like it to be. It doesn't have any real bother either way or the other. I'm going with my salt now, as you saw. And then ultimately, I'm going to roll my lime. This is what I'm talking about rolling your lime. Again, making sure that I don't leave anything out of my recipe. So I'm rolling my lime to release the juices. Then you're going to see me cut this in half. I'm going to squeeze a little bit out, and you'll see me take the tip of my knife and I'm going to scrape some pulp out. It's a little bit off camera so you can't see, but I'm scraping a little bit of pulp out because I just like to get those little bursts of flavor with every chip that I can get. Now in slow motion, I'm just showing you how I'm stirring this up to be sure that everything's incorporated properly. Then I'm going to add my salt and pepper to this and let it sit in the refrigerator for a little while before I bowl it up and get ready for my chips to come out of the oven. So that's it. Simple, easy, Pico de Gallo. If you wanted to make guacamole, you'd simply cut an avocado, dice it, and then grind it and mix it in. Not grind it, but mix it in with the Pico de Gallo, and that would give you guacamole. Add a little bit of garlic. It's not traditional to add the garlic to it, but in my opinion, I love the taste of garlic in guacamole. So I add a little bit of garlic in my guacamole as well if we were making guacamole, and I'll have that recipe up as well at some point. Again, Pico de Gallo. I'd like to thank you for joining us. Always remember, help someone. It's a good feeling. It's terrific.